Hi, welcome to HK Immigration Service. I'm going to explain how to apply online visa application in the Ukrainian website. This website is the official website. You need to fill up the form and you have to take out the printout and submit it to the nearest consular office. There are different variant of visa is shown based on your application. Under which category you need to apply, it will show, and you need to fill up the citizenship, the purpose of visit, and the submitting location where you are going to submit. These informations will show in the website, and you need to choose properly. This is the website, the visa.mfa.go.ua/visa/applications. Here you can see the details, the fill in visa application. Before you come into this page, you need to log in this page. It's a simple procedure. You have to put your email address and password, and some security email will come, and you need to check that in your inbox. After that, you can come back to this site. You are ready to go ahead with this site using your username and password. This is the site. It shows very clearly how to use, and it's very simple on this site. You need to choose a citizenship, and then I'm choosing a random citizenship. Okay, it's choosing a Canada. The purpose of visit, the transit visa. You know the example of the transit. You are the passenger who transit from one place to another place by passing through the Ukrainian port or Ukrainian airports. So that is called the transit visa. So in the transit visa, mostly the applicant who do this on themselves, they don't require any kind of immigration assistance. It's a very simple process. It does not require lots of documents. It's just a very easier to do. These are the two variants in transit visa. Three variants is there. The transit visa for the sea transport people, like cabin crew members, like a navy purpose, they will use it. And the business visit, the who get the business invitation from Ukraine, and they want to come visit the business, they go for C01 business visit. And C02, the person to person invitation, the private person who is inviting you, and that invitation is called a private visit. That type, if you have the invitation, is called a C02. C03, you get any diplomatic invitation from the Ukrainian government, that is called the C03 visa. And the transportation of the goods, passengers, the visit of the person, these things is normal, and it is usually C04, C05 is not required. The tourism, C06, if you have the if you want to obtain the tourist visa in the Ukraine, you need to apply the C06. For the tourist visa, the invitation and the initiatory complete details has to be submitted. That documents you need to apply in our company. After that, you will receive in through courier to you. Then you need to scan those documents, and you need to keep the documents, and you have to submit in the consular office with the supporting visa application form. C06 medical treatment, the person who wants to get the medical treatment in the Ukraine, they need to get the C07. And the medical treatment, it should not be a transmit disease. There are some particular requirements. Treatment can be done in the Ukraine. They need to be in certain rules. That is the requirement of medical treatment. They have to prove that that disease is not being transmitted, and invitation of the medical treatment has to given from the hospital where you're going to get the medical treatment, and then the C06 visa application can be approved. C08 investment activities. The investment activities is called you are investing some kind of money in agriculture or some private bond or government bond, or you are going to buy the property in Ukraine. You can doing some kind of business activities or initiating some kind of business. You require your presence on the Ukraine, then you can obtain the C08 investment activities. This all kind of C type is the temporary and maximum of 30 to 60 days of visa can be given based on their requirement. If the visa officer has been convinced based on your application, then you could get the maximum 30 to 60 days they usually give. It ups to go to 90 days also, but usually they won't give 90 days, they will give 60 days of time. C08, the cultural and scientific, educational and sports activities. These all the three sectors you can easy to understand. Cultural means you are in the cultural program from your college who wants to take a participate in the Ukraine. They can apply in the C09, and the scientific research program from your exchange degree program, they can also apply in C09. And the educational things and the sports activities, who wants to participate in some kind of international sports tournament or something like that, they can apply under the category of a C09. The religious things is the person who wants to practice the religion, or they are invited by the church or some kind of Christian organization or the Islam organization. They can apply under the category of a C10. They need to have the invitation from certain organization. C11 is a mass media staff visit. This is the journalist visa. C11. The C11 they will give for the journalism purpose. They can get 30 to 60 days. Obviously, the category of the C is 30 to 60 days. This visa is granted under the supervision of External Ministry Affairs of Ukraine. It's very important, so they will not grant it very easily. C11. And C12, the official visit upon the request of a foreign authorities and international organization. Official visit, this is also kind of a diplomatic passport holder can obtain the C12 visa. Visa. Because this C12 require the invitation from Ukrainian government organization in the top officials. C13 is just like missionary activities. They can apply. The missionary who wants to invite for the observation in the Ukraine, and they can get the C13. Like a Christian organization, church want to do the supervision on their church, they can invite on the foreign observer for under the category of C13. The C14, your close relatives who was deceased in the Ukraine and you want to come and see the final funeral, that is a C14. I don't want to explain more, not to get upset of the C14. Next, going on the C15, the foreign or a domestic policy interest on expanding cases. This is the case on your name or the diplomatic reasons. Something is intercept law that comes in the C15, the explanation cases. This is C15. These are the types of visas in the C. And then C16, the elimination of accident and emergency aftermath. The elimination of accident means in case of the accident happens in the transit passenger while transit from German to German to Russia, you are in the Ukrainian airport. So in case of any emergencies happen, they can apply under the category of C16. And C17, the flight of international aircraft pilot crew, it's completely airlines purpose. Airlines industry can obtain this C17 visa. And D1, the immigration, and D2, D3, D4, and D4, D5, D6. So these D category is a long-term visa. They give for 90 days of a visa. After you enter into the Ukraine, you need to apply the temporary residence permit in the Ukrainian immigration department. Then you are eligible to stay a long time. So the D type visa is the long time. It's not a completely long time visa. They give maximum of 90 days only. In that time itself, you need to obtain the permanent temporary residence permit. Once you have the temporary residence permit, you can move out of the country and you can come back using the temporary residence permit to the Ukraine. So you can see these D type type of visas. I will explain you. One is the employment at the Ukrainian company or organization. If you have the sponsorship from the company who like to sponsor you or who like to invite you to work in their company, they will give an invitation and they will take a complete responsibility of your wages, the salary in the Ukraine. Then you are eligible to apply in the D04. So this is the most of the people will apply on this. They can apply under this category. If they are in the study permit, they want to apply the study permit, then they comes under the category of a D13. In the D13 they can apply, and the D13 they can get the study permit for 90 days of same category of visa, 90 days, and then they can apply the temporary residence permit. And this is the very unique, the people having a long-term relationship in the online or something like that, they're going to reunion in the Ukrainian national. It's a spouse visa. If the person who wants to apply the spouse visa, who married the Ukrainian nationality, they can apply the D14 visa. So these are the types. D type and C types, it's mainly they will focus on here. B type, only the 3 types. C types, there are many, and D type. So total 3 types of visas can apply in the online application website. Here you see all these types. So after you choose any of the visa, I'm choosing this. That's the employment at the Ukrainian company and organization. Submitting the following documents in the Canada, and I'm choosing the next option, the embassy of the Ukraine in the Canada. The consulate, there are options comes where you are going to submit the document. The Consular General of Ukraine in Toronto, this is a place I'm going to submit my application. So I choose this. When you are choosing the country, the system will show how many consulate is available and which place you can submit. And you can also see the working hours of the consular office. See here the working hours of the consular office, 3 and 4, it's in the green. So you can choose on those any one of the date. I'm choosing a 3, and if I choose a 3, the time has been shown in the 12. That's it. So on that time we need to apply. Then I have read my information. Okay, I'm filling up. Fill up the application. Okay. Okay. Here you see my application. That's the basic information we need to fill up. The name and surname, given name and data. After you open the application, This is the beginning page. Will ask the basic information. Total there are 6 sections. The general information about the applicant, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, I'm filling up the application name, and surname, and given name, a date of birth, the place of birth, and the country, the nationality, a male, and the material status is very important. Here you see in your passport the material status has been mentioned, either a single or a spouse. You need to mention that very clearly. If you already been married, you need to mention it, you are married, because in your passport if there is a spouse name and you are showing as a material as a single, that will be a problem on your visa application. There could be a rejections also if you are lying in your application. So choose the material status what is given in your passport and submit all the documents truthfully. After you choose all this and check sure everything is correct, you need to choose your photo also. I just put the photo, and once it complete everything, you need to move forward, and the nationality ID, you need to put the passport number, the passport serious number, the issue date and issued category. After that you can move to the next one. Your email address and the postal address, telephone number, your residence in the country other than the country or current national citizenship. These things you need to mention. And next one, the current occupation, the employer name and address of the employer, and the employer telephone number, email address, all the details. And the next one, the purpose of the journey. Here we are going to talk about the purpose of journey, the long-term stay. When I told in the application, the long-term stay is valid, the D-type, all the visas valid maximum of 90 days, and even a short time is up to 90 days only. The possibly they'll give maximum 90 days, and in the time of the 90 days you can stay there and in the Ukraine. In that time you need to apply the temporary residence permit, and tax code and address registration is mandatory. You can choose a multiple entry or a one entry. It's based on your intention to stay in Ukraine, and it's your choice. The previous Ukraine visa, if there is any kind of previously you have been visited in Ukraine under the category of any kind of visa, you need to mention the date of travel and the time period of you're living, and what purpose you have been. So if you choose yes, you need to mention all the details and the date of the validity, everything. And the 24th Ukrainian temporary, okay, here we go. We need to say there's automatically no, because you are the person who not went to the Republic of Crimea, the city of Sevastopol after the 10th June 2015. Say no this application. Entry permit of the final country destination, this you need to say no. and the intent of the arrival, intent date of arrival. You can put the approximate date based on your travel plan. Then the intent date of the staying, from what date to what date. You can put the date of the visa requirement, 90 days of the period. You calculate it 90 days and mention that in your visa application. And after that, the type of the person, the Ukraine who invited you. For example, if the person is being the private person, you choose the private person. And the organization, you need to enter the organization details and their tax code and the address and telephone number and other details. If you record that details has been mentioned, you need to mention all these details. It will ask, they will ask the Ukrainian code, that, as I told, if there is an organization, they will have some license number. That details you need to mention here. So you need to mention all the details. It's very mandatory things. And then you need to move on with the next question. The expenses regarding the travel to stay in the Ukraine are covered by. You need to mention that applicant himself, because if you are choosing the organization has to submit the bank statement, and the organization should sign some particular documents that your sponsorship has been taken by them on the travel of 90 days of period. That they need to give. Usually the organization will not give. If they are not giving, it's not a big deal. You can choose the applicant himself and you can submit your bank account details to them. And 34, in case of when the applicant minor, here the section, if there is a accommodate with your minor, you need to submit the minor's details. I'm choosing not applicable, and if I'm choosing not applicable, that section will be hidden. If you are untick this, there will be a section, the minor details has to mention on here. The minor details very clearly you have to mention, and for them you need to apply the separate visa, but you need to mention the minor details on here. It's mandatory. Okay, I'm choosing on next, and then last is that the place in filed and your date, and then you can submit, or you can save to the draft. If there is a lack of document, you don't submit the document. Wait for your confirmation from your employer or from your lawyer who's assisting on your visa application. Get all the required documents on filling up this kind of a form. That's it for the visa application in Ukrainian official website. You will understand the complete details, and uploading the then after you submit, you can download the application. You have to submit into the Ukrainian consular or Ukrainian embassy, which is the nearest to your nearest to your city. And then we will see you on next video. Have a nice day. Thank you.